This time, let's have a look at one of the saddest stories in gaming, a game that never really had a chance from the get-go and faded away into obscurity. With teases in the early 2000s of a reboot, it was all swept away and everyone was left disappointed. One of the biggest cult followings ever in gaming belongs to the game. On today's episode of Hibiki History, we're going to check out the history of Vectorman. Now, if you're not familiar with Vectorman, Vectorman was one of the last original efforts on the Sega Genesis. Released in 1995, it had the sad misfortune of being released the same year that the Sega Genesis was discontinued. Vectorman never really had a chance. It was developed by Blue Sky Software, makers of the World Series baseball games of all things, for the Sega Genesis, released in the same year also. The game was critically acclaimed and hailed as a graphical powerhouse for the system. A sequel also saw release in '96, which didn't do quite as well. Believe it or not, the first Vectorman actually sold pretty decently, but the second was way later into the Sega's lifespan. The lifespan was done, it was just releasing games that had already started development for the most part. Sporting more of the same intense action and better graphics, the sequel had everything a fan could want of the series, but as they say, a day late and a dollar short. Now, although the first one sold moderately well, neither really did well considering other games like Sonic and Mario at the time. And a lot of that has to do with Sega's ridiculous marketing strategy. If you remember, this was also the same company that completely neglected to push such AAA titles like Gunstar Heroes and Rise Star, since Sega of Japan had deemed that the 16-bit market wasn't worth maintaining. A whole slew of quality Mega Drive releases were left behind in Japan, such as Pulse Man, Monster World 4, and Alien Soldier. Sega instead felt that the Saturn was its only priority, and pushed back Blue Sky's creation. Sega's utterly stupid move to consider the Saturn as its only main source of income for the most part ended up costing the company huge profits, in addition to giving the entire market basically to Nintendo, and also Sony was right there alongside it. This also made Vectorman disappear as a franchise. Despite a tepid attempt at promotion in the form of a contest where selected cartridges would win their owners $25,000, that's about as far as Sega went as far as promoting Vectorman. It was on the Sega Channel a good bit, but the Sega Channel, as awesome as it was, also wasn't promoted well, and also didn't do very well. So as the N64, PlayStation, Dreamcast all came and went, PlayStation 2 was finally upon everyone. Sometime in 2002, Suedo Interactive approached Sega with a demo for a new Vectorman game. Sega was impressed with the Smash TV style gameplay and fully immersive 3D world. Management liked what it saw and decided in April 2003 to greenlight the project. As you can see in the pictures of the test game, Vectorman was completely changed in his appearance. Instead of the floating green balls that comprised Vectorman's body, they were replaced with a hulking green armor, kinda like Halo, that was just uglier. Supposedly, the change in design is owed to Vectorman having been defeated at some point in the past and sent to the scrap heap, only to be rescued by a secret person that was never revealed. Now, the original version of the test game was very intuitive and fluid, as IGN and other various reviewers have gone on to say that got their hands on it. In 2002, there were indestructible environments, about 80% of the game was destructible, and this was unheard of in 2002. For the few fans that loved the game at the time, it seemed like it was set for a comeback. Everyone was pumped. This game lay dormant for way too long, and it was time for it to return from the grave. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be. In November 2003, Sega quietly canceled development. It was never given a reason for discontinuing the project. Everyone has gone on to speculate it just has more to do with how the originals did. I mean, they tried to revive Altered Beast, a series that made just a single console appearance almost 15 years prior to that, and it didn't do well either. And sadly, that was the last Vectorman was ever heard from again. What could have been in this release could have been great. It could have rebooted the series. At least that's what I wish would have happened. Vectorman, the original, was too good of a game to be left in the dust. It's a shame that it fell under Sega's marketing team at the time. Had Sega had a better marketing team, Lord only knows what the game could have been and where it could have gone, but sadly it remains a cult classic that is best described as tragic. This is Hibiki History. Thanks for taking a look at one of my favorite games, Vectorman, for the Sega Genesis. Hey guys, you can follow me on Twitter at TheHibikiTMD. Thanks for watching another video. As always, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe. This is HibikiTMD, everything retro gaming, pro wrestling podcast, and everything in between. Right here on Hibiki.